Probably one of the most common questions for new players of any free-to-play game is, how free-to-play is it? An important question, no doubt, because if players discover that they have to pay to progress, most of them will decide to avoid the game. So if you've clicked on this video, you're probably curious to know how much Orundum you can get for free in Arknights. So let's start with the simplest part, the daily missions. If you complete the daily missions every day, they'll grant you 100 Orundums, which means you'll get a total of 700 Orundums each week. And if you complete the weekly missions, you'll get 500 Orundums. With just these, you can get 1,200 Orundums every week. Now, there's another weekly factor we need to take into account, Annihilation mode. In this mode, you'll have to defeat a large horde of enemies, usually 400 of them. What makes this mode stand out is that it grants you a total of 1,800 Orundums each week. The best part is that it doesn't matter whether you defeat all the enemies or not, you'll always earn Orundums, as long as you defeat the minimum number of enemies. So just repeat the level as far as you can, until you reach the weekly 1,800 Orundums. This game mode also features special tickets that automatically complete the map, based on your previously saved deployment. These tickets are earned from weekly missions, so you don't have to worry about always playing the level. Once you've completed the level 100%, simply use the tickets to automatically earn the Orundums. Adding this up, you get 1,200 from the weekly missions plus 1,800 from Annihilation, for a total of 3,000 Orundum per week. Now, if you multiply this by 4 weeks, which is how many weeks there are in a typical month, you can earn up to 12,000 Orundum in a month, which is equivalent to 20 gacha pulls. Now let's move on to other ways to get Orundum for free. Let's start with the daily login bonus. This type of bonus isn't very common in this game, but when it appears, it usually lets you earn up to 800 Orundum daily. This type of bonus is typically available during special events like anniversaries, summer events, etc. That is, events that include limited time banners. However, since it's quite variable, we won't go into too much detail about it. Along with this, we can also mention Orundum given as maintenance compensation. These aren't handed out very often, but they're usually 200 Orundum. Now, there is a way to get free Orundum in the shop. One way is through reruns. If, by the time a rerun occurs, we've already cleared the event shop, some items will be replaced with special tickets, which we can exchange in the shop for various items including Orundum, which is no small amount. Another way is with green tickets. However, I won't mention it, because I don't use this method due to how expensive it is. Finally, there are the paradox simulations. These are special levels that most of the game's operators unlock by meeting specific requirements. In these levels, you'll need to use the main operator to clear a level based on a specific skill. If you succeed, you learn 200 Orundum, and since there are so many operators, you can earn a lot. Alright, you might think we are done, but we have 2 more methods left. The first is crafting Orundum. Yes, in case you didn't know, you can craft the currency needed for the gacha here. However, you'll have to farm a lot, and I mean a lot of stone. You'll also want to get specific operators with skills that boost Orundum crafting. It's a viable method, but it's not highly recommended unless you're in a real emergency. Now, let's move on to the last method. Technically, this isn't a way to get Orundum, but in the end, we achieve Orundum's main goal, which is to get pulls for the gacha, and that's through free pull tickets. You can get these tickets in various ways, from the in-game store in exchange for green and yellow tickets, at event shops, where you can usually get up to 3, through the game's monthly daily login bonus, and more. These tickets don't expire, so you can save them for as long as you want. Just keep in mind that the game will prioritize using these tickets before Orundum, so don't assume you'll be able to choose which resources to spend on the banners. Before wrapping up this video, I'd like to recommend that you plan carefully how you want to spend your resources. It's tempting to try to get every operator in the game. However, if you're a free-to-play player, I'd recommend going for the operators you're really interested in. Don't try to get everything, or you'll end up reaching the limited banners with no resources left. Remember that the global server is 6 months behind the CN server, which lets us plan ahead which banners to prioritize over others, so make the most of this advantage. That's all for this video. I hope it's been helpful to everyone who's looking for ways to get Orundum for free. Personally, I think this game is very player friendly in that regard, but in the end, it all depends on how you invest your resources. Without further ado, I'll say goodbye, take care, and see you next time.